Hello and welcome back. It is now September 9th and it is a warm but smoky morning. I don't know if you can see the sun behind me here, but it is pretty red this morning. We do have some smoke coming out of the southwest with the wind here this morning, so that might keep things a little cooler today, but I think it is still supposed to be 30 degrees for today and tomorrow, so looks like it's going to be a pretty warm week. You can see this canola behind me. Let's take a quick look. This dryland canola has ripened up significantly since last week. It is now, you can tell by the color, that kind of cardboardy brown color of the pods here now. They are good and ripe and dry. So I think we'll be getting this combined here this week. Even though those stems down there are still a bit green, I think it'll come off just fine. Here we have a field of Pioneer Hybrid canola. This one is still quite green. It's only kind of just hitting swath timing on it here. We got, 60-70% color change in most of the main stems, but we still got a lot of greenery on the side branches, so it is in no hurry to come down at this time. We do actually have a bit of aster yellow showing up in this field as well. Don't see this too often this year. Some years it's much more prevalent than it is this year. I think the last time we had a severe outbreak of it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago now. But this time of the year, I always do find a few in fields here and there. It is spread by leaf hoppers. It's quite an interesting disease, being that it is neither bacterial nor viral, and it modifies the flower structures of the plant to basically produce modified green leaves, which are more susceptible to insect feeding and therefore helps to spread the disease. Here's a weedy patch in a freshly harvested wheat field, and you can see we do have some kochia and some Russian thistle in here, which is starting to regrow after being harvested here last week. So this wouldn't be a bad time to spray, but looking at the weather forecast, we are supposed to be getting, over an inch of rain later this week. So I would say a lot of these fields like this one, we're starting to see, you can see some volunteer and stuff coming up over here. Might be better off wait till next week after we've had some rain. Maybe we'll get a bit of germination of some of the winter annuals, and we can take care of those all in one pass, as well as more volunteer. So we'll hold on till then. Also, look at this. I just stumbled upon another projectile point out in this field. So let's pull this guy up, see what she looks like. Now, it's definitely been worked. Not sure what it was. Could be a busted piece of a knife or something. This field of Pride 1027 is looking really good, developing really well. The odd ear is doing its usual 1027 thing. We got a little bit of a bear's paw syndrome going on at the tip of this one. It seems like it's vastly in the minority in this field, but it does regularly occur with this variety, and it is always interesting to see. It doesn't really affect yield at all. It actually, if anything, it may increase yield. There's definitely more kernels on the tip of this than there would be on a standard ear. So always interesting and fun to see. Well, the potato harvest is beginning. This field is partially harvested and they are hard at work over there. Of course, it's too windy today to fly the drone, so I'll have to come back some other day, but I'm sure they're going to be working on this for the next few weeks between the various fields. You can see they did leave some potatoes behind, which is great because I need some for dinner tonight. Well, my small canola plots are testing as just barely dry enough to get harvested, so I'm going to go ahead and get these done before it's supposed to start raining tomorrow. So, we'll be working on this here for probably the remainder of the afternoon, getting this done. So I did replace the sieve in here, or the concave. So this was the wheat concave. I've got the canola one in there now. So the way that this hopper is going to work for this, you basically just take these stems, run them through these hooks here, and it should take the pods off, dump the pods and the seeds in here. I open up that slide, let her go into the machine, and hopefully it won't spit too much seed out the side. This is not really designed to save seed or to get all of the seed, so I'm probably going to lose some, and I'm going to keep the airflow as low as possible to compensate for that as much as I can. I'll probably end up with a dirty sample, but it'll be easy enough to clean up with some screens on one of these rainy days we're supposed to get this week. Now that nighttime temperatures are dropping, we are getting less growing degree days every week basically for this corn, and that will slow development down on it a little bit, but at this point its biological clock is kind of ticking and it is rapidly moving to finish filling and developing those ears. So it's probably going to be at least a couple weeks away, but we're going to be at silage time in here relatively soon. Weather is starting to cloud over here today. This is Wednesday. I believe we are supposed to start getting rain later this afternoon or this evening, and there's a good possibility of about an inch of rain tomorrow. Well, there's lots of winter wheat going in the ground this week. Now that it's just starting to rain, guys are getting off the combine, getting in the drill, trying to get a few acres done before things get too wet. This field has been manured and harrowed. And we'll take a quick look, see what we're seeing in the seed row here. You can see we've got good moisture conditions. This was irrigated last week as well. Let's get down here. There we go. So here we got some seed, about an inch deep. You can see we are treated on here. I did recommend this customer to use an insecticide as well as a fungicide, so this has got the full package from Syngenta on it here. And the idea behind that is there's still quite a lot of wireworms out there that I'm finding in fields. They are still very active, so between the fungicide and the insecticide, we'll make sure this stand is off to the best start it can. And I'll keep an eye on it here this fall, make sure we don't have any cutworm problems. There was a few cutworm issues in winter wheat last fall, and we want to make sure we catch that at an early enough time we can get it controlled before the stand gets reduced. Well, when I get a couple miles north, it's still dry, no rain up here yet. It looks like it should remain clear for a little while, though it is kind of clouding over, but I'm going to try to process a few more of my wheat samples from various trials, so see if I can get through at least 4 of these before it starts to rain. So converted back over to wheat mode, and we're going to keep on going. Now that I'm on my second set of trials, so these are the bags that came from my trial down south of Lethbridge, I can tell the differences are going to be quite substantial. My dryland Nobleford trial, I was lucky to get, about half a bag of grain out of each plot. This, I'm about as full as I can possibly get, and it's weighing roughly twice as much. Most of the bags from the first trial were somewhere between 4.5 to 6.5 pounds so that's in the garbage bag before I process it. These bags are about 9 pounds, and the grain is substantially fatter and heavier, which is actually making it a lot easier to run through machine. I can run the air fan a little bit higher, which helps clear out more chaff without blowing all the grain out. Well, it's Thursday afternoon now. We've been having a light rain kind of on and off since yesterday afternoon, but pretty consistent most of today. Really has not accumulated a whole lot yet, probably around 1/4 of an inch, but this is excellent conditions. This slow soaking rain, especially if it stays like this for another day, should keep things relatively moist for a few days, which is going to give us a really excellent opportunity to have things like volunteer and fall annuals to emerge and germinate in time for us to control them before a frost. So I'm talking about things like downy brome and foxtail and all that other fun stuff. It'd be great to be able to get all that germinated here in the next week so we can take care of it before September's over. Well, the rainy weather is giving me a great opportunity to go through some of my samples, start doing moistures and weights. So I got them all spread out all over the place. I got a new set of sieves here, using a customer sample room and his scales and stuff and moisture meter to get all my results done. So hopefully I can make some progress on this. I don't even have all of my samples harvested yet. I'm about halfway done. So we'll see if I can make some more progress next week. Here you can really see the difference in the grain between my 2 sets of plots. Now, not only is this the same variety of wheat, but it actually comes from the same seed batch. So you can see, dryland by Nobleford significantly shriveled and smaller versus much plumper from down by McGrath area. Now, there was some differences in rain as well as soil type and condition. And I think there was only about a 3-day difference in seed timing. But overall relatively similar, and actually both fields even had soft lie to almost the same extent. It's now Friday morning and the rain seems to have quit for now, but it is overcast and cool. So we did get about 1.25 inches of rain in the last 2 days. So things are definitely a little bit wet. It's going to take some time for things to dry out. Maybe guys will be back in the field tomorrow afternoon if we don't get any more showers. And we'll just have to see how it goes. It's supposed to be about 20 degrees all weekend long. And nighttime lows are really starting to drop down into those single digits. So I think that'll be it for this week. We'll see you next week.